Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our next quarterfinal match of the Serpents Championship Series Invitational 2020. We are just about to get ready to start our quarterfinal number 2, as I mentioned, between Alphahex and Fortuna. Before we do, we're going to bring you a little bit of analysis. So as you can see, we already have the pig bands, but one thing that does have to be stated is we're actually going to be casting over replays of these games because they had to play a little bit earlier due to some personal issues that these players are facing. But nevertheless, I'm joined once again by Spiff. Spiff, talk me through what you think about this match.
I don't know the result yet. So it's still up in the air as far as I'm concerned. Either one of these players could win. Alphahex always been a very strong player, and Fortuna certainly no slouch. It's hard to say who might come out on top here.
Yeah, Alphahex has definitely been showing a very impressive performance, and Fortuna has been that consistent guy that always has been playing most of the tournaments, and does fairly decently in each one, but obviously is another player that just struggles to take the top of the top, that creme de la creme. His best performance being, of course, the 10-year anniversary tournament where he took third. So that was very impressive, and that tournament he actually fell to Alphahex in that I believe it was the lower bracket final. So that was a bit unfortunate. I think he actually lost to Alphahex twice. No, it was just once. But anyway, we got a best out of 3 here, and I'm curious to see Open Palms getting banned. You know, I feel like for UEF, that's one of the better maps. What are your thoughts on that, Spiff?
I don't feel like there are any good maps for UEF, but I'm biased, so don't take my word for it.
Well, I think that Boolean actually is one of the better maps, definitely for UEF, and it's been wisely banned by Alphahex. So it's very interesting. And we got the tiebreaker match, also the Etch Desert, which I think is a little bit better for the UEF as well. But Alphahex is actually random, so that might not mean much in the end. But definitely a very exciting matchup. Coming up, we're going to take a short break here before we're going to bring you these replays for you guys, and then we're going to move on to the next matchup after that. Thank you guys very much for watching. Stick around for just a little while longer. We're going to get the replays set up and then cast them for you. Thank you so much for joining us for the casting couch, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our game. Of course, it is paused. As you can see, this is a replay. My overlays are not really made for replays, but we're going to do our best. I'm joined by Spiff. We're going to get this game rolling. We're going to cast this as if it was live, so we're going to do game speed 1. We're paused at 5 seconds, so Spiff, let's unpause in 3, 2...
Hold on. Wait. Hold on, I got to get queued back up again because you screwed me up with your first countdown.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Well,
hold on, just
technical difficulty. Guys, we haven't cast a replay yet this whole SCS season. We haven't cast a replay. So I'm going to actually introduce the players while we have it paused. So in the top left-hand corner of Desolatia, we have our brown Cybern Commander. Of course, he's random for this tournament, but he's pulling Cybern here in the first game. It is Alphahex. And on the bottom right, we have our UEF blue Commander with the name of Fortuna. And it looks like we're just paused a little too early for Fortuna's build, but it looks like Alphahex is going down to land factories. So are you caught up with me, Spiff?
Yep, ready to go.
5 seconds. So on go. 3, 2, 1, go. And yeah, it looks like Fortuna is plopping down just some eco right now, but I shouldn't expect him to go anything but land factories. Of course, Alphahex is the one that's really known for going those transport rushes on this map, but so far like nothing is coming out from Fortuna. Interesting. Is that commander was actually idle?
just for a second there, but yeah, I think he's probably just going to try to be pushing up into the center and maybe making use of the fact that he doesn't have to unlock MMLs with research.
Yeah, I just feel like on this map, it's a little. I mean, especially on this map, you just have to grab at least one factory. And I usually tell, if you guys have been following my replays on my channel, I always say you should at least aim to get at least two starting buildings, essentially, either factories or research generators, to start off in your starting area and then move. But actually, you know what? This brings back memories about Fortuna's games against Explosive. And during Serpent's Open Fall, I think he did this rush quite a bit, but now, of course, he's plopping down that one land factory in his base, so I don't think he's going to go for a missile launcher factory up in his opponent's face idea here this time around.
No, he's going to have to watch his flank, though. He does have a radar up already. It's kind of in an exposed spot if Cobras do come out, but and there's the first Cobra popping out right now.
Yeah, Cobras are popping out. Of course, that's a good follow-up from Alphahex. I feel like not seeing air, you really don't need adapters. But even if there was air, I think he could go with just a single anti-air tower. And here we see Alphahex moving to the center. That's a wise decision. Really, when your opponent is not moving down and building factories here in the center, that really allows you to secure the more offensive position with your factories, and it really allows your mobile missile launchers to kind of open up the flank here even more. So it's really crucial on this map to put it down or have a presence here in the center so that those Cobras, like they are doing now, don't manage to slip by and start falling at those core mass extractors.
Or that radar.
Yeah, but it looks
Which
like
is super quick to take down, so.
Alphahex is going to prioritize those mass extractors, though, for the time being. Fortuna is going to try and push here with a point defense. I don't think he quite realizes that Alphahex has Cobras at this time.
I don't know. I mean, he's probably realizing by now, but
there's just not enough tanks here for Fortuna to really be engaging. That point defense is doing some work, but already a mass extractor has gone down to that single Cobra. This is looking very rough for our UEF player.
Meanwhile, 3 other Cobras do manage to take out that point defense, which immediately goes back up on the wreck.
And we forgot to talk about predictions, but I'm really hoping that the UEF, our only UEF player for this tournament, can manage to get a win. It looks like actually Fortuna managed to get an advantage here in the bottom, cutting off Alphahex's ACU from his reinforcements here.
But now he is surrounded with his ACU.
Oh yeah, nice pull from Alphahex. That was I don't know if that was intentional, but that was definitely a good play. But he's not following up with his loyalist. Looks like it's just going to pick off those reinforcements. Definitely a good move here.
Yeah, after some kind of passive games in our first quarterfinal, this one's pretty scrappy.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. The smallest map we actually saw in that semi or quarterfinal was Open Palms, and that's not really rushy. And well, no, we saw Shiva. I'm just trying to forget that game because a lot of issues happened. It's like PTSD here. I'm getting triggered. Fortuna doesn't manage to quite catch up to that quick Cybern commander here. Oh man,
I'm surprised he's chasing so far. I mean, is Fortuna kind of figuring at this point that if he can catch up and snipe, that's his only chance? Because he's taking a lot of damage in the center and at his starting 4
yeah, and that's a lot of mass extractors falling from Fortuna. You know, having started, I think he was trying to prioritize more of a mass opening, but now he's just losing that advantage that he had. And I mean, I still just, I go back to the fact that you really just need, at the very minimum, on a map like this, 2 factories of some sorts before you move out. or one factory and one research generator. But again, it's not the smartest idea. Look at that PD coming up. I feel like that's an overkill. Fortuna is so far out. Goodness.
Yeah. I Again, I'm a little confused about his choice to chase all the way around the flank here.
Yeah, well, he did have a little bit of an advantage, and Alphahex's ACU, I think, was a little lower. It's, of course, now it's getting healed by that engineer. But yeah, this is just too far out, and Alphahex, the closer you go to your opponent's
Oh,
base,
those
the,
Brackman got 2 solid hits on that blob of tanks there.
yeah, and it looks like they're continuing to do so. Fortuna is not quite microing enough here, and going back to that commander, the closer you go to your opponent's base, the more the easier it is for your opponent to reinforce. And it looks like Fortuna is going to try to set up a base here, but it looks like he is also going to press here in the center. This is quite of a very weird, wonky match. I don't think I've ever seen such a interesting setup where the ACU goes around like that and starts setting up a base.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people send engineers down there. Like, if Alpha Hex had sent an engineer down there and start building air factories, that's a fairly common expansion on this map, I think. If it does get, that far into the game.
Fortuna is actually doing very well here in the center. He manages to get a win with his tanks and picks off that land factory. That's actually pretty big. But the problem is again, these 3 units down here in the bottom right that have still not been answered. There's still not even a single tank coming over here to address these. Does Fortuna even realize he's lost his base at this point? He's like not responding at all. He's trying to build a research station down there.
Honestly, I think he's just figuring it's never going to get started, and he's given up on that base, I think.
Oh man, this is... yeah, that's rough. It's so rough. Well, Fortuna does have a little bit of an advantage. I think Alphahex wisely realizes that he can get pincered here and pulls his commander back. But honestly, even if Fortuna pushes right now, manages to get a good engagement, and takes out that bottom left little base that Alphahex has set up, I'm not quite sure that he'll be able to really do anything. Oh my goodness. What's coming up, Spiff?
I see it. I see it.
Yeah, I mean, Alphahex, we didn't point this out, but Alphahex invested in a research generator pretty early in the game, and of course now it's going to pay off for him very, very slowly here as he does plop down that land gantry for most likely a megalith.
Yeah, it's got to be a megalith. I don't think he could have enough research for anything else at this point.
Somehow Alphahex manages to harass his opponent with 3/4 of a turret of cobras here without without even using transports.
But what are those cobras doing now? They're within range of those mass extractors, and
I,
they're
I
not
don't think they
shooting.
see radar. I think they're out of radar range.
Oh, they might be. Yeah.
Finally, Fortuna realizes that, or not realize. I don't know if he realized it, or finally just decided to address these cobras. But now they're just having a Mexican standoff over here with the 3 tanks. That megalith is halfway done. I'm assuming it's a megalith. Yes, confirmed.
I was wondering why Alpha was assisting the factory instead of the gantry, and then the shield popped up, and that, oh, yep, that's it. And then, he goes back to assisting for the megalith.
Man,
Nice little bit of micro there.
man, Fortuna is just like fighting in a no man's land right now, in between those 2 Cobra armies, but somehow manages to avoid quite a bit of shots here. Not bad micro, but really needs to find damage here soon. That megalith, that megalith is actually out already.
Yeah. I think that's probably going to be the death knell. Fortuna seems to realize it too. He's walking right into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do. Your economy has crumbled. Those cobras are still alive, by the way. Oh, I don't think actually Fortuna had those Cobras on radar, so he actually didn't know where the heck they were. Oh man, that's so rough. And that commander is
Oh man.
slowly getting picked off by PD fire, Brackman fire, Loyalist fire, probably structured detonate fire here too in a second, and Megalith fire is going to seal the deal for game one for our brown commander as we have a 1-0 lead for Alphahex. Very weird game. And I feel like I'm
That was a
starting to
fun one.
yeah, and I feel like I started saying this a lot with Fortuna's games. Is like, what is going on in these games? Because every single time he just brings something wonky, and I feel like every single time he's like sort of close to winning, but then he like lets go on one side, and then it just like completely goes down the slippery slope. But let's see if he can pull off in game two. Of course, that's going to be his map pick. Don't quite recall what the map will be, but we'll be back again. This is going to be a replay, so we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everybody, for game two of this quarterfinal round. Joined here, or I'm joining Night of Misfortune for this game between Fortuna and Alphahex, and we're on Shiva Prime here. Night, why don't you show us the spawns and see what's happening?
All right, Shiva Prime in the top left shoulder of this map. We have Fortuna. By the way, we didn't unpause yet, right?
We did not unpause
Okay,
yet.
cool. Fortuna, our blue UEF commander, and obviously they have not thrown down the builds yet. And in the bottom right, we have our brown random commander who is spawning as Aeon this time around. It is Alphahex. He's throwing down, looks like 2 air factories already. Very nice. And let's unpause Spiff in 3, 2, 1, go. And it looks like Fortuna is going to go with the air factory, which is not a bad idea here.
Yeah, and, this game was played before the last quarterfinal match, or maybe during. I'm not sure. So Alpha wouldn't have seen Vanity's double air opening in that game.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. This was actually played, I believe, like 6 or 9 hours ago. Yeah.
Fortuna, same thing, double air. But again, he's going for the kind of mix of air and eco instead of as opposed to Alphahex, who went straight for the 2 factories, and his are up a little bit quicker.
So it looks like he is going to be grabbing a wasp straight out the bat. Well, if you're anticipating your opponent going air, which I guess Aeon would most likely open up air here, it's not a bad choice. But Alphahex just already has 2 fighters here, or 2 Weedo buffs. Manages to pick off that scout without taking a single shot. Looks like he's going to go ahead and going to try and shut down his opponent's air opening here. I think he's thinking there's only 1 air factory, though, and that might actually bite him in the butt here as he's going to scout that double air. But no, he turns around. Why does he turn around?
Maybe he's just scouting out the center.
He's waiting for the 4th fighter. He's going to keep going. Going to lead in with 1 fighter. Sees. Oh, he baits a little bit, but that doesn't quite work out because Fortuna's air was a little bit spread apart. Somehow gets a good engagement out of this, but the Wasp should still win here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alphahex wisely retreats with his remaining planes that hadn't engaged yet. And see, this is why I think on a map like this where air openings are so common, I don't think it matters as much whether you start with a bomber or a fighter. Because chances are, if your opponent has opened air, they're just going to kill your scout anyways.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, actually. But against, I don't know, I feel like Cybran doesn't, at least from what I've seen, players who play Cybran on this map don't open up air necessarily, so I guess I would still open up with a bomber. I don't know. Hard to tell. Let's not speak about hypotheticals. Let's talk about what's actually happening in the game. It looks like Alphahex is going to push down the center. Oh, did you see it flash up? Okay, there it goes again. Oh, man, we cannot make it through a tournament without this.
What, huh?
Alphahex moving down the center. building a very, very
Oh,
amazing structure.
oh, oh! There it is. I see
Yeah.
it now. I
So
was zoomed
wait,
out too far.
so are they like smurfing with Fox? Did they just like exchange accounts for like this tournament or something? Like
Ooh, could be. I didn't even consider that.
No, I don't. I would not expect Fox to play random. I don't think I've ever seen him play random. Ooh. No, not going to get a good engagement here after all, as another scout is going to get picked off. Not sure that scout was absolutely necessary. And at this point, though, Spiff, I would really go bombers at this point.
I. Mm,
He's one air.
I don't think, because he did see. Okay, I think Alphahex did something really clever here. I think he turned his air factories on while the scout was over his base. And now the scout's gone, he's turned them off again. So that way, Fortuna wouldn't be sure, do I need to keep making fighters or not? I'd better keep making fighters to be safe.
Oh, that is so incredible. I didn't even notice that. Holy crap. That's the type of
That's
play I really want to see in this final tournament here.
that's like a StarCraft move, Like
Absolutely.
you
Stargate,
know,
I'm
they,
going to make you think I'm going Phoenix, but in fact I'm going to go Colossus and freaking pwn you. Wait,
well,
actually
I see it.
Colossus is not the best in Nite.
Well, I see it with Terran and StarCraft, where they'll have a tech lab and they'll start it upgrading just to show it off to their opponent, and then they'll stop the upgrade and go a different tech route.
What game are we playing?
Well, I'm just saying it's a nice move that crosses over between
No,
the
no,
two
no.
games.
Of
Jeez,
course, absolutely no. I'm just
you were
playing
you
with
were
it.
talking about StarCraft too.
I did
Don't
bring it
don't
up
jump
first.
on
I
me.
absolutely agree.
And you told me how you loved my chess analogy, like, oh, don't bring other games into it now, but you could, like, come on, man, come on.
All right, all right, all right. I'm just trying to hype this up for Fortuna, who's gonna be pushing up with 2 point defenses here.
Interesting
That's
choice.
against Aeon.
I mean,
Yeah.
he built them. He managed to get the first one up before the Aeon point defense, so the range wouldn't matter quite as much, but the shield certainly matters.
How many point defenses is he gonna build? Holy crap!
Wow.
This is turning into like a PD war here. Alphahex being super smart. He doesn't really need to do this because that shield is still up, but he's positioning himself straight in front of those 2 point defenses to protect them.
The
Brilliant
TML
play.
does go down.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's the priority for him right now, so I think he's doing a great job positioning himself here. This is such a... Again, I'm saying this again for the second time out of 2 games. This is such a weird game.
Yeah, I've never seen the point defense push strategy used to counter TML before, but it's working out okay.
Especially as UEF. Oh man, that shield regenerates, and that's going to be GG.
He's still taking fire. Oh,
Keep moving,
wow.
Fortuna. Oh man. Are those bombers going to finish it? Oh my goodness. Oh lord. Alright, well, a valiant effort from Fortuna and just a brilliant GM level play from Alphahex continues to show why he's so damn good at this game. Just saving his research points. I always tell you guys, save your research points until you know what your opponent is doing. Just absolute amazing response, I think, against 2 air factories, losing that air opening. Absolutely the correct thing to do, and unfortunately Fortuna just didn't have anything to follow up. Despite actually expanding quite a bit, he actually managed to expand over there to the north, and was doing fairly well, but that TML is just too obvious to go for in this situation, I think. So Alphahex does manage to get a 2-0 lead. Fortuna does have one more chance to bring it right back. Let's see if he can do so. We'll be right back with the next game. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our quarterfinal match number 2. This is game 3 between Alphahex and Fortuna. The tournament is, of course, the SCS Invitational 2020, the culmination of the year. I'm joined by Spiff. We're going to pause in 3, 2, 1, go. And Spiff, would you like to introduce the players?
Sure thing. Starting over here on the left-hand side, spawning in as the brown UEF commander this time, making the round robin of the races, is Alphahex, dropping down 3 quick land factories. And then over on the right-hand side, spawning in as the blue UEF commander, and dropping down 2 fast air factories is Fortuna. Kind of a replay of a game that we had earlier, air versus 3 land, very quick.
Yeah, and I feel like Alphahex is just, again, opening up with something perfect to counter this 3-fac. Again, there's a scout. Okay, what about in this situation? Would you open up with a wasp or a bomber?
I guess it would depend on my opponent, what race they were, and what I knew about how they played.
Well, a UEF versus UEF. Not necessarily opponent, I guess, specific, but...
No, I think in that scenario, I would base it on my opponent. Do I think this is a person who's likely to open air on this map?
Oh, I do like the bombers coming out now for Fortuna. That's definitely good. Let's see if he can target fire those MMLs. Oh, P-Shield. Alphax's favorite unit, guys. Making its way out on the map.
Every UEF player's favorite unit.
That's actually very true. Well, I don't know. What do you prefer, actually? P-Shields or Demolishers?
P-Shields.
Really? Well,
yeah, because you put your Demolishers under the P-Shields, and then they're both more effective.
Well, no, if you could play... If for some reason they would take out one unit, like, would you rather play without P-Shields or without Demolishers?
Oh. Well, P-Shields were a DLC unit, weren't they? So we did play without P-Shields for quite a while.
I think you're right, actually. Gosh, that's been such a long time. I think you're right on that, actually. Were P-Shields really a DLC unit? Dang, UEF must have sucked. Well, actually, no. I mean, there weren't Shajas in the non-DLC. Did they have adapters? Was adapters a DLC
Yeah, adapters
unit?
was in the base game, yeah.
Okay, so Cybern was basically wrecking everything. Yeah, because they had very good openings for Eco back then, too. And then the patch, I feel like, did a lot to kind of even the playing field about openings and spam. Alright, so Alphahex is going to be advancing here. There isn't really anti-air for him except for that... Oh my goodness. Wait, how the hell is he reclaiming so far? Wait, how is he reclaiming so far?
That's a good question.
Does range? I mean, UEF doesn't really have range, but even then, I don't think range lets you reclaim farther. That's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
One of those little quirky things.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot what Fortuna can do. One anti-air tower, even if this air was problematic, it's just sitting there right now. But even if that even if that was to be a problem, Alphahex could just put down one anti-air tower. And that research station is... Okay, that's actually a big mistake. I didn't even notice it coming down because I was so focused on that mid push. But that's not... You can't follow up 2 air factories with a research station. Man, I feel like I will definitely admit, like, my prediction would have been Alphahex was to win, but I would not have predicted that it was gonna be this easy, because I feel like Fortuna is definitely a great player, and he usually puts up a great fight. But now his air is melting away.
Well,
More.
I have to admit, I didn't know who won the games, but I did see that there were only 3 replays here. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I knew what the result was, and I knew that when I told them they could play, the games were like very quick because
yeah.
I barely told Alphahex they could play, and like I was sat down at my desk and it's like, oh, here are the replays, and I'm like, okay, well, this went great for Fortuna.
Fortuna did put up a great fight here, though. Real scrappy, entertaining games. I really
Yeah,
like
for
that.
sure. I always enjoy watching Fortuna's games. It's just I feel like I don't know. I know he's been playing a lot. I don't know if he's just put together a great set of strategies. He definitely did well with what he had, particularly in those first 2 games. But in this one, it's just a completely wrong move on that research station. Like, completely.
I do have to issue a correction, though. P shields were not part of the DLC. I guess they were part of the base game.
Oh, they were? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what else was added besides Shajas in terms of land
Well,
units.
I've got the list right here.
Was probably in the engineer. I think the engineer was added for UEF.
The field engineer,
Yeah.
yeah. They added a research converter for the engine for the UEF. I don't think that we've ever seen that used in
What did
competitive
Cybern
play.
get?
Um, let's see.
Fortuna does end up going down here.
Cy- Cybern got the Monkey Lord, the Recycler, the Cicada, Intellitron, and the Boomerang.
All the freaking OP shit. All right. Well, anyway, guys, we kind of stopped paying attention to the game, so we do apologize for that. Fortuna, don't let this. Alpha Hex is definitely a monster of a player, and I don't think there is a reality where Fortuna would have had an easy win against him. But don't see this as Fortuna just completely, you know, being a terrible player. I think he just had, the nerves can get to any player. And this is, like I said, a big tournament. I have no idea what it feels to play in a tournament like this. When I play in a small tournament, I usually am so nervous that I mess completely everything up. So very well
And you know
done.
what? You know what? On that note, if it was nerves getting to him, he still pushed his ACU out and fought some really scrappy games.
Yeah, I mean, he did very well in those first 2 games. And the third one, I mean, it's really hard to play when you're 2 down against a player like Alphahex. So, I mean, you might as well just, throw a game or do something interesting. I do think that research station was just signing the death warrant there, if there is such a thing. And yeah, great games by Alphahex. We are done with this quarterfinal. And number 2, we have quite a bit of time, I think, until the next one. Yeah, I think over an hour until the next one, which is good because it gives me some time to prepare, fix some mistakes that I've had on the stream. And yeah, we're going to get that set up, and we're probably going to be back in roughly an hour, probably. We're going to take a break. I actually still haven't had any food, so that will be good for me too. So we'll be back in roughly an hour. I might put on some replays on. I don't know yet. But in any case, you guys come back in around an hour and we'll be bringing you the casting couch for that game. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and we will see you in the next game.